Hey there, math students. Welcome to our assignment for today. Today we are going to be going through the notes. We are not actually going to cover the assignment itself at all, but take a look really quick. This is the notes page. And this is the assignment page. Do you see how similar they look? They are almost exactly the same assignment, except with two different scenarios, two different problems. So follow me carefully on this page and then apply what you learned to your assignment page and you should be in very good shape. Okay, let's get started with our I can statement. 6.2, I can understand and use equivalent ratios. Now you may be able to guess what this word equivalent means by this whatever at the beginning. Equivalent basically just means equal or the same. All right. Okay. So let's start with our warm-up. What is the difference between the x-axis and the y-axis? So we need to say vertical or horizontal here. So that x-axis is the one that goes this way. So it is horizontal. I'm just going to write that below the word x. And then the y-axis, that's the one that goes vertical, and so we're going to write vertical under the y. All right, so for part B, do you know how to graph the point -2, 6 on the xy plane? Why don't you pause your video really quick and see if you can do that? I'm going to do the same. I'll meet you back here in a second. All right, did you get it? Okay, so I drew myself a little XY grid and I just put a few marks on it. I put the ones I knew I would need. So the x is going to be -2, so we're going to start off by going to -2, so to the left, 1, 2, and then the y is a 6, so it looks like I need to go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our point is going to be right there. And that's all we have to do for that. Let's go on to part C. We have a fraction here. 16 over 12 equals something over 3. So basically we're simplifying or reducing this fraction. So how do you get from 12 to 3? You go 12 divided by 4 equals 3. That's what we did on bottom. So we want to do the same thing on top. So let's do 16 divided by 4. So both the top and the bottom are being divided by the same number. So 16 divided by 4 is going to give us 4 over 3. Now, do these two fractions have the same value? Yes, they do. So they are equivalent fractions or ratios. You could use that word also. Let's do the same thing in part D. Okay, 20 over 4 equals what over 5? All right, so that one's a little bit different. So there are different ways you could solve this one. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I had to stop there and think for a second because there's like 4 different ways to solve this problem. I think the most efficient way to describe it is, what am I doing to 4 to get 20? What would I multiply or divide by to get 20? It's going to go 4 times 5 equals 20. I'm just trying to draw an arrow though. So 4 times 5 equals 20. So I want to do the same thing over here. 5 times 5, and then we're going to put a 25 on top. So again, those are equivalent fractions or equivalent ratios. Let's go on to the next section. All right, ratios can be represented in many ways. We can describe them in words. We can describe them using numbers, or we can even describe them or represent them with a graph. We can also organize them in tables. So a graph would be like this here, right? And this is what we would call a table. Keep on going. Ratios can be used to solve some interesting problems. Example 1. All right, let's read about Annie and Malik here. Annie kicks Malik's butt whenever they run laps. In fact, for every 2 laps Malik runs, Annie runs 6 laps. Wow, she is a lot faster than Malik. Oh my goodness. All right, write the ratio of Annie's laps to Malik's laps using all 3 forms. So remember, we're going to use the word to, we're going to use a colon, and we're going to use a fraction bar. It says here, pay attention to the order, okay? So we want to make sure that Annie's laps come first because her name is first, and then Malik's laps. So we're going to first write Annie to Malik. All right, that takes care of our 2. Check. Now we need to use our colon. Again, Annie's going to come first. Annie, colon, Malik. Guys, you know what? This is not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to use the numbers. I'm sorry, I lost my mind for a second. Scribble that out. Teachers make mistakes too. I apologize. So rather than writing Annie's name, we're going to write the number of laps that she's running, okay? So how many is she running? For every 2 laps Malik runs, Annie runs 6 laps. Okay, so we need that 6 there to go first. 6, 2, and then how many does Malik run? He runs 2. Okay, so this is the ratio of Annie's laps to Malik's laps. Sorry about my goof a second ago. Now let's use our colon. Again, the 6 is going to go first because Annie's going first and then Malik. So we put the 2 on the other side of it. Now let's check that off. Now let's use our fraction bar. So we're going to put Annie on top. So there's the 6 there. And then the 2 goes down there as the denominator. And we're going to check that off. So those are our 3 ways right there. Okay, part B. Use the table to write the original ratio and its 4 equivalent ratios that use larger numbers. And then again, it says pay attention to the order and check each ratios. So they've changed the order on us. Do you notice? We got Malik first now and then Annie. So we're going to have to switch everything around. Again, Malik gets the 2 just like he had there. And Annie is going to get 6 because she runs 6 laps every time he runs 2 laps. Okay, so what are they meaning with the larger numbers? I'll show you. It's a little confusing the way they said that. So in the first 2 laps that Malik runs, Annie runs 6. What about the next 2? Okay, so if he's already run 2 and he runs 2 more, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, so in the amount of time Malik runs 4 laps, well, Annie's going to run 6 more while he runs those other 2, right? So we're going to have a total of 12. So every time he runs 2 laps, she's going to run 6. So when you go up to 4, she goes up to 12. Okay, let's add another 2 here. We're going to get 8. And that means we're going to add another 6 here. I'll write plus 6, and we're going to get 18. So each time we're adding 2 over here, and we're adding 6 over here. So what am I going to write here? It's going to be plus 2 again, so it's going to be 10. And then over here, it's going to be plus 6 again. So it's going to be 24 because 18 plus 6 is 24. All right, so we have our table filled out. Now let's go to part C. Instructions are up here. Graph the 5 ratios from the table you created in part B. 5 ratios? Oh my goodness. Okay, it looks like they do want something down here. So let's add 2 again to get 12. And let's add 6 again here to get 30. Okay, now we've got 5 ratios. And the ratios they're talking about would be like on each line. So 2 and 6 is one ratio, 4 and 12 is another ratio, and so on, okay? So let's read this again. Graph the 5 ratios from the table you created in part B. Be sure to label the axes. Okay, so first of all in this table, whenever you have a table, the values on the left will be the x values. And the values on the right will be the y values. Kind of like when you have an ordered pair, it's always x first, then y, right? So the x's are over here, and the y's are over here. Now, let's label the axes. So what are the axes? Well, this is one axis, and this is another axis, and the plural of axis is axes. So those are the 2 axes. So this one's the x-axis, and this is the y, but that's not really what they mean by label. When they're saying label, they mean specific to this word problem. So we want to label them with Malik's name and Annie's name. So Malik is the x guy, so let's put his name there. And Annie is y, so we're going to put her name here. Okay, now we've just got a lot of little slashes. Let's make sense of those. I'll just mark them in 5s and 10s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is going to take me a second, so I'm going to pause and finish up. Feel free to pause on your end as well if you're doing this. Okay, so now I have my labels, my axes labeled, both with the person's name and with the numbers. So now we can start graphing our ordered pairs from the table. So the first ordered pair is 2, 6. I know this doesn't look like an ordered pair. You could rewrite it if you wanted to. But just know that all of these can become ordered pairs, okay? So 2, 6, we're going to go 2 on the x-axis, 1, 2, and 6 on the y-axis, so it's going to be right there. Now to the next one, which will be 4, 12. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and up 12 puts us right there. For the next one, 8, 18. Again, start on that x-axis, go to 8, and then come up to 18. 16, 17, 18. Oh, I've done something wrong. It looks crooked. Let's check my work. So 2, 6, 4, 12. And then, you know what I did? Did you guys catch this? Mrs. Smith was talking and writing again. So is 4 plus 2 8? No! I bet you guys caught that, didn't you? It's going to be 6. And you know how I found that just now? All of these dots should like line up together, but this one looks, it's like a crooked line right here. So that is not good. Let's X that out and let's change these numbers here. 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, and 8 plus 2 is 10. I don't think I made any mistakes over here, but if I did, I'm sure we'll find them as we graph this line. Okay, let's try that third point again with 6, 18. Okay, so 6 up to 18. Now they look a lot straighter, which is exactly what we want. Let's do 8, 24. 8, there's 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 10, 30. 10 all the way up to the top, right there. Okay, so those are the 5 ratios that we had in the table. And as you can see, they kind of make a straight line, right? And that's what we want. Let's go on. The graph shows us a blank of the relationship between Malik's laps and Annie's laps, but we can deepen our understanding of this relationship by doing a few more things. So what does the graph show us? You could call it a picture, or you could call it a line. Both would be good answers there. Okay, so example 1. Draw a straight line that passes through all 5 points and extends to the edges of the graph. Okay, so I'm just going to start there at 0 right at the corner. Like always start here at the corner and then connect through like that. What is the point where the line starts? Well, it starts at 0, 0. 0, 0. It's good to write it as an ordered pair. Does the line end? Well, the graph ends, but Annie and Malik could keep running laps for as long as they wanted to. We don't know where it ends, so we're just going to say no, it doesn't. It kind of goes on forever. So does the line end? No. Describe what this point means in this situation. Now, when they say what this point means, they're talking about 0, 0. Okay? So what does that mean? It means when Malik has run how many laps? 0, right? And Annie has run how many laps? Also 0. Yeah, when they're both at 0. Okay. Moving vertically, that's up and down, right? And then horizontally, that's your side to side. How would you get from 2, 6 to 4, 12? Okay, so 2, 6 is this point and 4, 12 is that point. So they're asking how to get from this one to that one. So going vertically first, we're going to go up this far and then horizontally that far. So you would really go up, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you go up 6 and then over 2. Okay, what about 2, 6 to 8, 24? Okay, 2, 6 is still this one, but 8, 24 is this one, which you can't see. There we go. All right, that's going to be bigger. So we're going to go all the way up to 24 and then over. All right, let's count really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 up. And now I'm just writing 18 up down here, okay? And then over how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over 6. Okay, so let's read the next question. Write the movements as a ratio with the vertical movement on top and the horizontal movement on bottom. Okay, so we have this one here. It says vertical goes on top, so that's your 6. And horizontal goes on bottom, that's your 2. And what about this one? 18, that's vertical, so we'll put it on top. And then 6 is horizontal, so we'll put it on bottom. Okie dokie. Thought questions. What do you notice about your simplified answers in part E? Well, we don't really see anything yet, but let's simplify them, and then maybe we'll notice something. So let's simplify 6 over 2. Looks like both of these are divisible by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's 3 over 1. Or you can say 3 if you want, but it's nice to leave it as a ratio since that's what we're talking about, and a ratio always involves 2 numbers. So now let's simplify this. Both of these numbers are divisible by 6. So 18 divided by 6 is 3, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. So look at that. 3 over 1 and 3 over 1. So what do you notice about your simplified answers in part E? They're the same. How about that? So if Malik ran 1 lap, how many laps would Annie run? Well, a couple ways to answer this. You can look at this ratio here, and remembering that Malik's numbers are on the bottom and Annie's numbers are on the top, you could say when Malik runs 1, Annie would run 3. Or you can look over here at our graph. Malik is on the x, so let's find 1 on the x-axis right here. And let's follow it up until it crosses the line. 1, 2, 3. It looks like this is the spot where it crosses the line, right here where y is equal to 3. So that means where Malik has run 1 mile, Annie will have run 3 miles. I'm sorry, not miles. I think we're talking laps, but the numbers are still the same. So if Malik ran 1 lap, how many laps would Annie run? The answer is 3. Okay, is this point on the graph? Yes, it is. We just found it, didn't we? Okay, so use this information to help you with your assignment for today. And if you have questions, let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.